Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today, I wanted to elaborate a little bit on and discuss a little bit further some points that I mentioned in the last couple of minutes of yesterday's video with regards to the direction that the game is going and how they're going about implementing some of these new features, and also what new features that are being implemented into the game today, and just talk about the game's future in general and some issues that I think are going to crop up in the long-term future for this game. So if you find yourself enjoying this video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Helps out on the YouTube side of things. And I will be live streaming here tonight on the channel from 5 p.m. US Central to around 9 p.m. US Central, so make sure to come out for that on here and on the Twitch channel. So, World of Warships is a free-to-play game. That means that you do not have to pay to access the client. It's not like a AAA game where you fork over $60 to get the actual game. You can download this game completely for free, play it completely for free, and technically really never spend a single penny, dime, dollar on this game. It is one of the more generous free-to-play games that I have played. I've played quite a few of them in the past, and you do get a fair amount of stuff for free in this game. I would say an actual generous amount. I mean, shoot, we have coal ships that we can get completely for free, coal premium ships that you can get completely for free. All the lines in the game, the tech lines, are completely free to grind out. You don't have to pay for them in any way, shape, or form. And there's other things that are given out pretty regularly. Premium time is handed out, it seems to be almost constantly at times, depending upon what event is going on. You can also easily get a tidy pile of doubloons, the game's premium currency, fairly easily. Now, even with that taken into consideration, there are, of course, ways that the game has to make money. There has to be ways that the game has to make money, I should say. Selling premium ships is one of them, because of course those do cost quite a bit of money. Some will gawk at the price of the premium ships, say, oh my god, you want to pay $50 for a premium ship? That's the cost of a AAA game. Yes it is. But, I mean, hey, games gotta make money some way, shape, or form. I enjoy the game. I buy premium ships. Of course, I buy most of the premium ships to review for the channel, but even before I was doing YouTube, I was buying premium ships because I enjoy the gameplay of World of Warships. And Wargaming is very good at maintaining these free-to-play games. World of Tanks is a massive game that has a huge following and is the company's cash cow. World of Warships is a much smaller game in terms of player numbers, but does have a very loyal audience, and we'll get to player numbers here in a bit. And then we have World of Warplanes, which some people still play. That game's, I think War Thunder kind of just cornered the market in the free-to-play aviation side of things, but yeah. So, obviously, when you are releasing quite a bit of stuff for free in the form of techline ships and just, coal ships and things like that, you still have to make money somehow. Well, how does Wargaming make money off of this game if you don't really have to pay for much besides some premium ships that you don't have to buy, and then premium time, which again, you don't really have to buy. It's not really too hard in this game to make a tidy profit, at least up until you get to around tier 8-ish. The early 2/3 of a line, in most cases, it's very welcoming. It's very new player friendly. You can make a lot of mistakes in this game and still make plenty of credits and keep on playing up until you get to around tier 8. Then at that point, if you don't run a premium account and you make mistakes and you get sunk before you have time to do anything, yeah, you're not going to be making much credits from that. So how do you make money? How do you make a bunch of money? Because this is a company. Wargaming wants to make money. Well, you have to keep a steady flow of new stuff. New stuff, new content that'll keep players interested or draw in new players and get players to spend money. You also have to keep them engaged in the game long enough in order to spend money on the game. If you can get them baited in with a fairly easy grind up until tier 5, tier 6, players are pretty committed by that point to a line. And then obviously the line does the grind for the line does get a little tougher around that point, around tier 7, tier 8. Now, to be clear too, the grind for World of Warships is nothing in comparison to something like War Thunder. You can go watch my War Thunder versus World of Warships video from Sunday if you want to see a comparison of the grind there. It's much longer. You're talking about months. I can see if someone just plays this game as their only free-to-play game. They haven't had much experience in other free-to-play games. You could say that the grind's pretty challenging. Again, to someone that doesn't have a lot of experience in free-to-play games, sure, I can see that. But really, if you look around, it's pretty decent in this game and not bad at all, in my opinion, at least. So Wargaming doesn't really take that route with trying to squeeze money out of you. What they've been doing, and the direction that I've been seeing them going in, is that, well, they started by removing the flags from the achievements in game to where you can no longer get them for, doing things like getting high caliber, close quarters expert, getting the detonation flags when you detonate. Instead, they shifted to giving them out in certain daily missions, weekly missions, that then, of course, went into the Battle Pass. And now they give them out in random containers and such as well. And for, playing clan battles, ranked, you can get a couple that way. But from a player that has been playing this game for quite some time, 7 years at this point, it seems that they've really started to kind of tighten the spigot on these combat flags, where I'm having to buy these things fairly often now, whereas beforehand I didn't really have an issue with combat flags. I never really had to purchase them outright or purchase the packs that they used to come in back in the day. I didn't really have that problem, but now I am. And I'm still playing this game as my primary game, of course, is doing YouTube for sure. That's one thing that I've noticed, which means, of course, you have to turn around and play the game a lot more in order to earn the credits to be able to buy those flags as well. And they've also, again, tightened the spigot on the economic bonuses. We used to, shoot, man, you guys have seen my camouflage screen from back in the day. I had thousands of camos of all types of boosters and events. Now, of course, I'm a more involved player than the average Joe. But still, as an involved player, someone that plays clan battles, that plays a fair amount of rank, that plays random battles a lot, that participates in most of the seasonal events and stuff, I didn't really have a problem with that. But they've tightened that too, to where I looked the other day and I'm actually starting to run a little low on the green economic bonuses, the ones that are supposed to be some of the more common ones. Now, granted, this is me probably finally burning through the stockpile of them that I had when my other economic bonuses were, well, the camouflages were transferred over to these economic bonuses. So that seems to be running out too, and that, of course, costs doubloons to purchase, or credits to purchase in the armory, or buying them from, of course, certain containers and things like that. So those are ways that they're trying to, of course, get you to play a little bit more, which in turn will get you to pay a little bit more for things like premium time, because the more you pay, the more frustrated you might get that you're not making enough credits and stuff, so you'd be more pressured into buying premium time. But that's not really what my big issue is with the game. Now, those are issues, don't get me wrong, but the main issue is that they're focusing so much on trying to kind of one-up themselves and get the next thing out there, the next big eye-catching thing in the game to attract more players. Like Submarines. Submarines have been released in full. They've been out now. Realistically, again, they've been out in the game for like the last 2 or so years in some form of testing one way or the other, but they came out in full a couple of patches ago. They're super weird to the rest of the game. They take a lot of the game mechanics and throw them out the window, and they had to bring in their own mechanics. Homing torpedoes are a little nuts. Like if you look at the Alliance torpedoes from yesterday's video, those things are incredibly eager to make contact with your ship, and it's a whole new class. It plays completely unlike anything else in the game. It's a weird fit in the game because this game's pretty fast-paced, but if you go play a submarine, that's some pretty slow-paced gameplay. And yeah. So we've got those now with these homing torpedoes, and this was one of the things I was talking about at the end of yesterday's video is what's next. We just got the Alliance out with already a different flavor of homing torp. It's not like the homing torpedoes from the Germans or the Americans where, they have the set parameters. We have special homing torpedoes already that have a more aggressive turn, but at the cost of speed. What's going to come next? Player-guided torpedoes? We're going to start to get hybrid submarines. The churn that's needed to just, get the new class out, the new gimmick, the new fancy mechanic. Like with the upcoming Pan American cruisers, they have the alternative firing mode that was only supposed to be for super ships, that now is being shoehorned into an entire tech line. You're trying to out-gimmick other gimmicks and just keep pumping out the next latest and greatest gimmick in order to just keep the player count up, keep people interested in the game, keep bringing in new players into the game. Well, if you take a look at the numbers, and this chart I'm showing you is from a third-party website, because Wargaming doesn't really have like an official player count anywhere except for in the game client that you can see when you're in port, slap escape, look in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, there'll be a live player count there. I think it's either in port or it's in game. I'm pretty sure it's in port. So that'll show you the live player count. Now, I know this chart is not correct, at least in regards to that, because I distinctly remember being on very early on during lockdown during COVID-19 and seeing that there were 24,000 players on the North American server and thinking, oh my god, that's crazy, because normally even during peak times during the winter I would see it at around like 18k during the winter, because that's normally when there's the most amount of players on. So again, if you take a look at the chart, you can see that very clearly in 2020, when this all started with COVID, there's a very, very high uptick in players, and it stays high for quite some time through 2020 and 2021. But in 2021 to 2022, you can see it kind of decreases, and that huge spike right after September-ish of 21 on the bar on the graph on the bottom, that's winter. The players, naturally during the winter, there's more people on. People are in school. They are not traveling. They're staying home, playing video games more. During the summertime, you see that's when those sharp drops happen in the charts. People out and about during the summer, living their lives. So that's very much what happens here with the chart. So if you discount the 2 years of COVID and then look at 22 onwards, you can see that it's roughly the same as before. If you look at like 2019, then look at 2023, it's roughly the same, maybe a little bit lower. I think what happened this year, you can see the winter spike did go up. If you look at the gap in between right before the J in January, that's the summer. And then November, October, it starts to go up. January gets here when there's normally the big spike, and it didn't really happen this year. Why not? If you ask me, it's 2023. A lot of places finally relaxed their COVID restrictions, and you can travel without needing proof of vaccination, without a mask. You can go anywhere and everywhere now again, just like it was pre-pandemic in most places. And if you again ask me, a lot of people, they hadn't seen their families in some time, so this Christmas, now that all those restrictions are gone, they went on vacations and stuff. Now there's still a big jump, and you can see it's starting to decline again. There's another big jump right now, since we're in, let's see, we have up to February on this website. Yeah, that last jump is February 25th according to this website, at the moment at least. So again, it looks about normal with a little bit lower of a player count for this winter. Again, probably because people were out traveling about. But on average, it's about the same. So obviously whatever they're doing is working for now. But again, the big question is, why isn't it growing? It isn't growing, in my opinion, because they're shoving out just as many people as they're bringing in with these new ships, these new gimmicks, submarines. At least from my comments, I see people commenting all the time that they're leaving because they don't like submarines. They don't like the way the game's going with submarines and super ships. I didn't even talk about super ships that much in this video. So yes, Wargaming's just pumping out content. They're pumping out new ships, new gimmicks, new classes, and it's apparently right now at least attracting as many players as it is chasing away. How long can they sustain that? How long until people just get fed up with their vehicles getting out gimmicked, their favorite ships getting out gimmicked and being obsolete, the ship that they grinded forever for becoming useless? That's what my concern is going forward with the game. and what I wanted to elaborate on just a little bit further from yesterday's video. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. At what point do you think is going to be a big breaking point for a large number of the player base? Because, again, at least from what we see here, there's at least as many new people coming in as there are leaving. Because the average number, at least in the North America server, is staying relatively the same if you, again, take COVID into consideration on the chart. It's an incredibly stable player base from what we've seen here. So again, let me know what you guys' 2 cents are in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. And again, make sure to come out, check out the stream tonight on the channel and on Twitch. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe as well. Hope you guys have a great Friday, a great rest of your week and your weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.